how to remove collections off of your credit reports. Hey, everyone, thank you for coming back to the channel. If you are here, my name is Stephen A. Williams. I'm the president and founder of the creditrepairshop.com. If you're here for the first time, I would like to thank you. What I want to help you do is take control of your financial future. Today, we're diving in on a topic that is affecting a lot of people right now. Collections on your credit reports. If you ever wondered how to get those collections removed, you're in the right place. So first, let's do this. What are collections? Some of you more experienced people know what collections are, but if you're new to the channel or you're new to how the credit system works and looking at your credit reports and you've ran into some problems, you have collection on there. So simply put, if you miss payments on a debt like a credit card or a loan for an extended period of time, they may sell your debt to a collection agency. And this will damage your credit score. But don't panic. I'm going to show you how to remove those collections off of your credit reports. The first thing that you need to do to remove collections off your credit reports is to find out exactly what is on your credit reports. Now, there's a whole bunch of places out there to get your credit reports. This is my advice. You need to get all three credit reports, all three scores, and you need what I call all of the furnisher information, because this process that I'm going to talk about will not work if you don't have the furnisher information. What is a furnisher? Furnisher is who places that information on your credit reports. And here is one important key piece of information that you need. You must have the address of that furnisher, because if that furnisher sent that information place that information on your credit reports, and they have an address that is not verified, not verifiable when you do a furnisher dispute, which I'll talk about in a minute, and when you do your credit report disputes, that information just by itself is not verifiable, because the furnisher, who has to have a site visit by the credit reporting agencies, they'll send people out to make sure that these companies are legitimate. They do what's called a site check. And if that address is inaccurate, they cannot have that information on your credit reports. So the next step is, once you have those credit reports and you have those scores, you need to comb through and do what I call an audit of everything that's on your credit reports, negative and positive. But for this video, we're looking at all of the collections that are on your credit reports. Once you find those, then you go to the next step, and we're going to do what's called a debt validation. Once you found those collections, the next step is to do a debt validation under the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act. You have a right to ask any collection agency to prove that the debt is actually yours. So now the next thing that you're going to do, you're going to craft your dispute letters based off of what you see with that collection on your credit reports, and utilizing the Fair Debt Collections Practices Act laws for debt validation. So you're going to send that debt validation to the collection agency, and you're going to ask for things like for them to prove the amount that they claim that you owe the original creditor. You want proof that they have a right to collect on that debt. If they can't provide this information, they have to remove that collection off your credit reports. If the debt is valid and you're ready to pay it off, this is the next step. So don't worry, I got you covered. Consider negotiating with the collection agency, and you can do a pay for delete. Also, you can settle it too. So you're going to do a pay for delete, and you're going to end up paying that debt for less. So you're going to ask them, let's just say, for example, you owe $5,000. You tell them, hey, I would like to settle this debt for $1,000. You know in the back of your mind that they bought it for pennies on the dollar. There might be some back and forth negotiation with them. And then you also want to make sure that they agree to delete it off of your credit reports. This means that in exchange for your payment, they're going to agree to delete that off your credit reports. But don't worry, even if they don't, they might say, well, hey, we want you to pay more to get that pay for delete. That's a decision that's up to you. It would potentially be worth it, because if you can move forward by paying now, you're going to make that money back later. So don't worry about that. But if you're limited on funds and you don't want to do it, or your decision not to do it, I'm going to tell you how you can get it removed later, even if they don't agree to that, because they want to make you pay more for the settlement. So now the next thing is I want you to promise me, promise yourself, be sure to get an agreement in writing before you make any payments. Without the written agreement, they might just mark it paid and they won't remove it. And again, I'm going to tell you how you can remove it if they do that. But you want to make sure no matter what, you get it in writing. They can send you an email or they can send it to you in writing. Normally, you usually don't have anything to worry about, but I tell all of my clients, we have to always get stuff in writing because we're dealing with third parties. We don't want to have any problems come up where there was a misunderstanding with something. We want to make sure. And also we want to have that agreement just in case on accident they end up selling that debt to someone else and it pops up saying that you owe that debt. You're going to have the documentation to prove that you don't owe that debt. So now if the collection agency won't remove the entry after you've paid it, or if there's inaccuracies, you can file a dispute with the credit bureaus, Equifax, Experian, and Transunion. Okay, let's say that they just don't want to remove it. Let's just say whatever reason, they're trying to play hardball and they don't want to remove it. All you have to do is simply write up a dispute letter, number one, stating that it is inaccurate, because if you've settled the debt, the amount on there, they're going to have it inaccurate anyway. That would just be one of the simplest ways to dispute it. And you need to dispute that with each of the bureaus that collection agency has information on. So if it's on Equifax, you need to send a letter to Equifax. If it's on Experian, TransUnion, you need to send a letter to all three of them. And what you're going to do is you're going to dispute that information is inaccurate. And you can also put the copy of the paid statement to that bureau. Now you might be saying, Steve, but they're going to put on that it is paid. No, when you dispute it to have it removed because of the inaccuracy of what you ended up settling the debt for, the three credit reporting agencies are going to send that to that debt collector. That debt collector, in all of my experience, they have no incentive to leave that information on your credit reports. As a matter of fact, they pay a fee, and depending on how much data they're updating and uploading to the credit reporting agencies, they're getting charged for that. So there's no incentive for them to keep that information on your credit reports. Now, I'm a realist when it comes down to this stuff, so I want to add this before we close out. Removing collections off your credit reports is going to be some work. It's going to take work. Remember, these companies are getting millions of disputes every month. As a matter of fact, I just did a video the other day where there's 84 million people with bad credit right now in the United States. And you better bet that a large number of those people are trying to do things to fix their credit. So it's going to be a process. And when you get that information back, you need to respond accordingly, because, they have 30 to 45 days to give you a result back from that dispute that you gave them. But I'm just here to tell you from the experience that I've been in this business, going on 20 years now, there are some of the times that they're going to send that back and you know that they did not do a true investigation. But they're doing that because they're on a timeline. So that's why it takes some time to where you're going to have to do it again. I wish that there was a faster way to do it, but I'm just here to tell you, you want to do it this way because it's the right way. You're not going to have to worry about anything coming back to hurt you in the future, because you don't want that. You don't want no surprises in the future. Once you get this taken care of, the time frame will just fly by. It'll be like that just was a time in your life and you're able to move forward. So if you need help with your credit, please visit us at thecreditrepairshop.com. Watch the video, what makes us different. So you can see my 8-point validation process. My 8-point validation process takes care of collection accounts, even with original creditors. If you need your credit reports and scores, go to the website your3scores.com to grab your TransUnion, Equifax, Experian credit reports and all 3 scores. If you don't have your scores, you don't know what's going on. If you have debt collectors coming after you early in the game, before they put that information on your credit reports, you have 30 to 45 days to respond to that debt collection letter or that debt collection email. If you don't, they're going to put that information on your credit reports. That's going to make it harder for you to be able to move forward, because now you're dealing with the information on your credit reports and you're dealing with how you're going to resolve this collection account with the collection agency. grab my 3-pack of letters. Statute of limitations letter for debt that is past legal statute of limitations to collect. Cease and desist collection activities letter to challenge debt collectors from the get-go. And debt validation for the back and forth. I do ask for a donation on those. It helps me monetize my time here, helping you with the information here on the Credit Repair Shop. Subscribe to the channel, like this video, post your questions and comments. It's Stephen A. Williams, President and Founder of the CreditRepairShop.com. Until next time.